Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Justina and here I like to make, create, and inspire fun art things with you through my DIYs. And I have a awesome DIY video for you that is all about pumpkins and ghosts. I absolutely love both for fall and Halloween season. You can make these creepy, you can make these happy, any way you want, realistically, and it all turns out really great for the fall season. Not only do I have really awesome DIY projects for you, I also have some exciting news for you that I will share later on in the video, so make sure that you watch all the way through so you don't miss out. But before we get started, if you're new here and you haven't yet subscribed, I hope you do that today. All you have to do is hit that big red subscribe button down below. It is totally free, but don't forget to click on the bell notification so that YouTube can always notify you every time I upload a new video. Plus, we would love to have you here, part of our virtual art family. We are trying to reach the goal of 15,000 subscribers by October, and I really think that we can still make it. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for being here and clicking on today's video. I really hope you enjoy these DIYs, but don't forget to do all of the YouTubey things down below, which is like, comment, and share it to at least one friend. It really does help out my channel. Now, with all that being said, let's just jump right into it and let's art today. If you have been following my channel, you know this picture frame looks familiar. That is because we made it over around Easter time when I wanted to make a little black rabbit picture frame. So what you're going to need from Dollar Tree is one of these picture frames, but you don't always have to have the circle one. They have a square one and also a different oval one, I believe, as well. Any picture frame will work for this. I just love the look of this, and since I already painted it before, I am just going to use the frame as is. So as you just saw, I did remove the backing and I placed that to the side because I will use that later. I then traced a circle in the center of our backing. That is so that I have an understanding of where I need to place our new photo. I have this scrapbooking paper that I've had for quite some time. I always buy my scrapbooking paper from Michael's when they have them on sale. Next, as you see here, I put my frame right back on that scrapbooking paper, and then I'm going to trace out another circle. That is so I know where exactly to cut. I then take a pair of scissors and then I'm going to cut it out. Now I should have cut it out at least a half an inch further from the line I drew, but nonetheless I do remedy that, so you might need a little bit more of the scrapbooking paper so that you won't see any of the edges. After I have it cut out, now I know exactly where to lay it onto our backing, but I still needed something a little bit thicker on the back to hold everything together, so I'm just using a piece of cardboard that I just had on hand, cut it down to size so that that will be our new insert for our picture frame. So I need to attach the scrapbooking paper to our new insert, and I'm using my hot glue gun. You can always use a different glue if you want to. I just like using my hot glue because it's fast and I can get it done a lot quicker. Then I place that scrapbooking paper right on top, push down firmly so everything adheres nicely. Then I noticed that putting the frame back onto it, I did see that cardboard on the side, so I took some brown acrylic paint and I'm just trying to blend the picture and the cardboard together so you won't be able to see it. That's why I said you might need a little bit more of that scrapbooking paper to really hide the edges. Next, I'm going in with my Fast and Final lightweight spackling, and I am adding it to a popsicle stick because we are now going to make a little ghost friend here. Now, Dollar Tree does carry lightweight spackling if you want to use that, and if you cannot find that, you can always use caulk and have the same outcome. So as you see here, I'm pressing down the lightweight spackling onto our scrapbooking paper, going in a rounded motion and pushing down firmly so that it adheres down to the paper so it looks more like a ghost. You can make this as big or as small as you like it. I just want to make him kind of in the center and working my way all the way down. Now, as I'm working it down, I am making it thinner and thinner. That's because I wanted the bottom to almost be translucent so you can see through it and it looked like a real ghost. Plus, I had plenty on that popsicle stick. You don't really need that much, and since it's so very little, it dries really quickly. I want to say in about maybe 5 to 10 minutes. After it was completely dry. As you see here, I'm tapping on it. I need to make our ghost friend some eyes. So I'm using black acrylic paint and I'm just making little ovals onto our little ghost friend here. I also created a mouth too because I just thought it was missing something for him to be surprised about. So after I was done with that, I then have this little bowl and some caulk. I'm going to add a little bit of that caulk right into the bowl. It doesn't have to be a fancy bowl and you don't need that much either. Then I'm going to add some orange paint to it. I have this one from my apple barrel collection and I'm just going to add it right on top. Now it was stuck and I added way too much of that paint. Nonetheless, I still worked it in and it still worked out fine. I'm just going to keep mixing until everything is well incorporated and make sure that all of that caulk that is underneath it looks orange. Then I'm taking that same popsicle stick and we are going to give our little ghost friend a pumpkin to hold. Now the reason I did both the lightweight spackling and the caulk is because I wanted to have some texture in our picture frame to really make it look spooky and just give it some dimension. And I like using both different types of mediums because one is really smooth while the other kind of looks rigid, and it just looks like those paintings that you see at all of the stores. Lastly, I just needed to add a stem and then put our picture frame back together. Look how adorable our little ghost friend turned out. I really love this DIY. I just can imagine him floating through a hallway filled with pictures, holding his little pumpkin, being so happy. I love that it has so much texture and it was really easy to do. It only took maybe 10-15 minutes in total, but I would love to know what you think about this DIY down in the comment section below. For our next DIY, I want to make a painting, and as you see here, I already have a sketch on a canvas. That is because I was sitting around one day and I just wanted to sketch something on a canvas, and today is the perfect day to make this little ghost friend because it goes with our theme, which is a ghost holding a pumpkin that I absolutely love. And I wanted to share with you this palette that I've had for a couple of years now, and I just keep adding paint right on top of it because I use it when I make some of these DIYs, and I just thought it would be fun to share with you because every time I look at it, I see all of the colors and I think about all the DIYs that were created with all of these colors, and it just brings me joy. Now, I did try to clean this a couple of times and some of that paint just won't come off. Eventually, I will get a different one when it's all filled up, but it still works nonetheless. Now, as you see here, I'm starting off my painting using this beautiful blue color. I'm adding my first layer and this will be my background. Now when I make these types of paintings, I do like to start with the background. You don't always have to, but I like to just to give me a foundation. I've known some painters, they like to tone their canvases first, and that just means they add a color on to their canvas. It's usually a wash, and that way they can then sketch their painting on it or start their painting without a sketch. It just makes it easier for the creativity to start flowing, because sometimes when you stare at a blank page that is stark white, it's really hard to really see your image come through. I like to sometimes sketch on my canvases, and then sometimes I just like to start painting. It just depends on what mood I'm in. This time I sketched on my painting and I'm filling it in. Now I'm trying not to be too perfect here. I just didn't want to add that blue onto our little ghost friend too much, but if I did, it's not really a big deal because we can always paint over it. I do take my time and I do speed these videos up for you so you're not sitting there about 2 hours in watching me paint this. But if that is something you would like to see, let me know in the comments below. I can always make a separate video where it's just me painting with maybe some music in the background. Now, I don't show you every little detail. I will fast forward most of my painting, so once again it's not too boring. However, I do add various colors to the background. I do add lighter blues, whites, and purples to make darker hues or lighter hues and just make the ghost really pop. And then I will continue painting on different sections here and there. Now, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, if you have watched the intro, I do have some exciting news that I would like to share with you. So while I am painting, I wanted to share with you that I revamped my Patreon page. If you've been following my channel, you may already know that I did make one before, but it was still kind of new and I wanted to revamp it, especially for the fall season. If you are unfamiliar with Patreon, Patreon is a membership platform where you can support your favorite YouTuber like myself, and in return you'll receive benefits that will possibly make you happy. Now, there are different types of patrons. Mine is more of my artistic side, and I have made a couple tiers. Each tier is a little different, so you do have to scroll down to see which one will benefit you the most. Now, I do have a link to my Patreon page down in the description box below, and I'll also have a pinned comment down below as well if you cannot find it there. Now, as you see here, I do have 4 different tiers, and each tier has its own unique name. Now, you can sign up for free, and whenever you decide to, you can always join a membership later on if that suits you. Either way, it is totally fine. But for the month of September, I made sure that each tier, even the $3 one, you will receive Happy Meal with a special treat inside. A lot of the treats that you will receive are DIYs that I've made this year in my videos that I've created into artwork for you. To find those benefits, you just need to read each of the tiers, and then sometimes they're so long you might have to hit the more button to see exactly what you get. So, like I mentioned earlier, I am running a special for the month of September. Since it is fall season, I wanted to make sure that everyone can receive Happy Meal. So if you decide to do the first tier or the last tier, each one of you will receive Happy Meal. I would like to show you a closer look on each tier and what exactly you will get. So my first tier is called the Base Coat Crew. You guys are my foundation, and I just wanted to give you something special. So as you see here, you will receive this 4x6 print that I had made on Canva with all of my favorite fall things. It's more like a scrapbooking collage that I created each month for my patrons, and you get a print of it. Moving on to our next tier, which is called the Creative Crafters. You will also receive the 4x6 scrapbooking collage print and a sticker that I have created with our painted pumpkins that we did in a previous DIY project. For our next membership up, you are called the Cutting Edge Snippers. In this membership, you will also receive that 4x6 print, the sticker, and now a bookmark that I have painted and created, and it will also be laminated. And for our last membership tier, these are my paint palette pals. You will receive everything in the tiers prior, which is the 4x6 print, the sticker, the bookmark, and now a magnet. This magnet is a picture of a wreath that I've created on a DIY project this year, and I just think it is super adorable, and it will look amazing on anybody's fridge or wherever you would like to place it. Now, if you decide to sign up, make sure that you sign up before September 12th, and you will all receive an extra bonus print, which is of this painting that I'm doing here. Now, remember, just for the month of September is going to be a special where each of the tiers will receive Happy Meal. So if you want to receive one of my stickers, my prints, a bookmark, a magnet, or all of them together, plus the bonus print in each tier, and I hope you consider signing up today or at least before September 12th so that you can receive the additional print of our painting that we are creating in today's video. Now back to the painting. I did add a layer of gray first for our ghost friend. I like to build up my layers and then I go back and forth adding and mixing colors together to really get the look that I am going for. Now I am going on top of it with white paint, and then I will mix white and gray together to get lighter hues, and then I will mix a darker gray and maybe some black to get darker hues. Now once again, I won't show every little bit of detail, but I do add a bunch of layers on top of it, and then I go back with a finer brush and add more of that detail that you will see at the end of our painting. After I have the majority of my ghost done, I wanted to start filling in our pumpkin. So I first go in with a yellow color, and then I gradually work it out into an orange color. And then once again, I will start blending the two together to get the nice hue that I'm going for. And then I will start working on the other ridges of our pumpkin. I do go back and forth once again, adding lighter colors on top of it, darker colors in those cracks of our pumpkin, just to give it dimension and more depth and really make it look realistic as much as possible. I didn't want it to look identically like a real pumpkin because this is our little ghost friend, and it was more of a light cartoon style painting. I just really wanted to have fun with it and just get some of this creativity out onto a canvas, but I really loved how my pumpkin turned out. Next, I took some brown acrylic paint and I started blocking in the stem. I will also add more details to it off camera, but at first I just block everything in and then I will add the details with a smaller brush. Lastly, I am going to fill in my ghost eyes with using black acrylic paint. I did have to give it a couple coats to make sure it was nice and opaque. I then took it over to the side and waited a couple hours and added all of my details off camera. I did add little splashes of white paint in the background to make it look like stars. Finished up the detailed, and all I needed to do was sign it, and that completes this DIY. I absolutely loved how this painting turned out. It was super fun, very relaxing, and it is perfect for the fall season. This can work for fall and Halloween, whatever your heart's desire. But if you sign up to my Patreon, you will get a print of this in your bundle, whichever one that you choose, if you sign up before September 12th. For our next DIY, you're going to need a Dollar Tree pumpkin. Now, I've had mine for a couple of years and I had made it over prior, but I am going to repurpose it for another DIY. But if you buy a brand new one, you can skip all of this step and just get into painting. Or not, because Dollar Tree sells these in 3 different colors, I believe in orange, black, and white. So I want to repaint mine using my Waverly chalk paint in pumpkin and my folk art home decor chalk paint in the color vintage yellow. I like to use chalk paint because you don't have to use as many colors and you can hide blemishes really well. So I will give everything about 2 coats of paint because that black paint was showing through, but it does cover it after I was done painting on the 2 layers. Once it was completely dry, your pumpkin should look like this. However, it shouldn't have so many dents if it's brand new, but like I said, I'm repurposing mine. Next, I'm taking my Waverly chalk paint in the color Snow White, and I'm making these little rounded square shapes as you see here, so we make little ghosts. We are going to add these shapes all around our pumpkin in various directions. You can make them smaller, you can make them bigger, you can make abundance of them. all different sizes and shapes, however your heart desire. I just made a few along the outer edge of it, making some big, making some small, and then filling them in. After I had them where I like it, I am taking black acrylic paint and a really thin paintbrush and making little dashes for the eyes of our little ghosty friends here, which is super adorable. I seen a couple of these pumpkins in big box stores that they were asking so much money for, and I was like, I can make this myself for free because I had everything at home. But you can still make it for about $1.25 if you get it at Dollar Tree. I'm sorry, $1.50. I believe the prices went up. I haven't been to Dollar Tree in a really long time, actually. It's been maybe a month or two since I've been there, but I have plans to go there pretty soon to see what they have. As you see here, I did hot glue down a stem. It's just a wooden piece that I had on hand. Once again, I purchased that from Dollar Tree. I also have these fall leaves that I'm adding to the front of that stem and some green leaves that I added to the back of it. Lastly, I'm going to add a sunflower right into the center, and that completes this DIY. This pumpkin turned out super adorable and I absolutely love it. It was so easy to make too. It only took about 10 minutes for the paint to completely dry and that we can add our embellishments. But I would love to know what you think about this DIY down in the comment section below. All right, friends, that completes this round of DIYs for you for the fall season that include ghosts and pumpkins. I had a blast making each and every one of these DIYs, and I really hope that you like them as well. These were really fun, simple to do, and only took minutes to make. The longest one had to be my painting, of course, but I absolutely loved it because it was so fun and relaxing to do. Remember, friends, if you are new here and you haven't yet subscribed, I hope you do that today. All you have to do is click on that big red subscribe button down below. It is totally free. But don't forget to click on the bell notification so that YouTube can always notify you every time I upload a new video. Plus, we would love to have you here, part of our virtual art family where we do a lot of DIYs with an artistic twist. I am trying to reach a goal of 15,000 subscribers by October. So if you can subscribe, that would be deeply appreciated. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for being here and clicking on today's video. I really hope that you enjoyed all of the DIYs that were in today's video, but don't forget to do all of the YouTubey things down below, which is like, comment, and share it to at least one friend. It really does help out. Also, friends, like I mentioned before, if you can please check out my Patreon page, the link will be down in the description box below. I had remade all of the tiers for our September special, which each tier will receive Happy Mail no matter which selection member you decide to select. I have my base coat crew, creative crafters, cutting edge snippers, and paint palette pals. Each one of those you will receive what is in the photo, and also if you sign up before September 12th, you will receive a bonus print which is of the painting that was in today's DIY. I really hope that you enjoyed. Thank you all so much for joining and watching today's video, but like always, I will see you in the next one.